Hi, I'm Carcino.
Oh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
No one knows Carcino and none of these.
There's so much going on in the world, and I'm just giving my 2 cents on it. Go in and do a raid at someone's house, but you don't have an arrest warrant for them. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. As I was informed yesterday in the middle of a live stream, people were very concerned. And as I went to the social media chats, people were really asking me about this. You got to do a video, Cino. You got to do a video, Cino. I'm like, Cino was about to do something else. But hey, the people win, man. Y'all want to know about Stephen Curry going to the Boston Celtics. That's what you guys want to know about. I'm surprised y'all didn't say the Knicks or something, but I guess y'all got bumps in now, so that wasn't going to be the case. But Boston Celtics is the landing team. Now, here's the situation with the Golden State Warriors. Mike Dunleavy is saying that they're preparing for a future outside of Steph Curry, like beyond Steph. And everybody's, beyond Steph. That means Steph. They trying to get rid of Steph. Here's the thing about that. You can't get rid of Stephen Curry. And here's the reason why you can't get rid of Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry has a no trade clause in his contract. You can't just dump Stephen Curry. If Steph say, look, I want to go, they're going to have to find a way to make that happen for Steph. Why does it seems like only Knicks fans, y'all got a hive mind. I don't know what idiot tell y'all this stuff and y'all run out the door with it, but y'all really believe y'all own bullshit. That's amazing. Nobody cares about the Knicks. There's no fear of them. There's no, this team is incredible. How are we going to stop them this year? Nothing. So now let's get back to basics here. Stephen Curry is on a different wavelength. Let's say that to be more profound about it. The thing about Stephen Curry is this. Him and the front office have gotten along. They're working on getting him an extension. Draymond ended up coming back for the same amount of money he was going to leave for. So instead of having the option next year, he'll just be a free agent. He can go to wherever team he wants. Unless they try to work out a deal for Draymond midway in the season, depending on how the season is playing out, right? They might could trade Draymond. But that would be all up to Stephen Curry because Steph Curry likes playing with Draymond. So if him and Dre are not getting along, right, that would be the end case scenario. Well, when you look at the scenarios and you look at what they call the cookie, who's going to get the big cookie? Mm-hmm. Well, what is going to be the what is going to be the end message to it? All I know is they got all the money and nothing has happened yet. They've really been dragging their feet, and they do have the money in the space to get a lot of players. And Stephen Curry's really got 2 years. But what I've heard is that they're working on a contract extension with Stephen Curry. But I'm quite sure he's going to want some type of insurances or some type of direction to know what is going on. Well, there is so much going on. But there's so much going on with the Warriors that Steph is probably like, okay, Dre is back. We didn't get LeBron. And where are we going from here? He probably wants some reinsurance from the team. Like, what is the direction? We didn't get Anthony Davis. We didn't get LeBron. We went from going to that to, okay, where are we at now? What are we doing now? What is our big splash? So he probably was like, hey, what are we doing here? But a trade to Boston? This is created by fans. Steph Curry going to Boston has been created by fans. And fans like to become general managers for some reason and make the craziest scenario trades that you've ever heard of in the history of mankind. So, yes, that's what we've been hearing. Nothing but the most ridiculous trade packages I've ever heard in my life. I mean, ridiculous. Let me get into some of these packages, right? Stephen Curry goes to the Celtics for Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hauser, Neemias Queta, and 2 first-round picks. You mean to tell me Stephen Curry is going to go for 3 role players and 2 first-round picks? So Peyton Pritchard and Sam Hauser is comparable to Stephen Curry. Not in marketability, nothing. And then Queta, okay, really. And that Golden State is going to jump at this. And Steph Curry wants to go to Boston on Jason Tatum's team. Nah. Him and Paul George there. They said, well, Brad Stevens called the Golden State Warriors to launch this pitch for Stephen Curry. You know how many people say, hey, What are you guys doing over there? Are you trying to work out a deal, or are you trying to move him? He'll fit real good over here. A lot of people have tried to inquire about players to find out what the situation is, so if they're going to waste their time or not, to find out if they are even going to trade the player. I know it's crazy to even think about it, because people are so enthralled about the situation. Like, what a combination. Another light-skinned crew. Tatum and Curry. They got the dark-skinned, hard-working brother out of there. So now it becomes Curry and Tatum on the same team. Is this what you want to see, America? Is that what you want right there? As I told y'all before, the NBA is turning into video game. It's turning into 2K. They're letting the video game dictate everything about what it is that they do. People make decisions based on panic. And some teams could blow up their whole run and blow up their whole team before it even got a chance to surface. Charlotte had their biggest successful year in their whole franchise history and decided to blow up the entire team. All of a sudden, people were a problem that never was a problem before. Bridges had to go, and they were not going to play LaMelo Ball. So people's like, well, they can win without LaMelo Ball. They got Bridges over there. They're in contention. They're in position. So, okay. Now you get rid of the situation that was the biggest core problem that you've ever had. But it was also the reason. He was the X factor. He was the highlight reel. Nobody's tuning in to see a highlight of Brandon Miller. But LaMelo is going to do something special each night. Now watch Minnesota and how they jump up to the top. You have long, athletic guards. Yeah, well, here's the thing. Stephen Curry would have to ask for the trade. That's one. Stephen Curry would got to say, hey, look, I want to trade. And they're going to go, wait a minute. What you want to trade for? I want to trade. I don't want to be here no more. So now you're opening up Pandora's box, because you're basically telling yourself, hey, I don't want to be here. This is where I'm at right now. This is what I'm feeling. And I'm feeling like I really don't want to be here. Now, everybody's going to try to talk you off the rails. That's what they do now. That's the move. Everybody's got to come talk to you. They got a speech. Everybody's got to let me reason with you. Listen to me, Johnny. Listen to me, Janie. Everybody's got a story. As you will see on the Patreon this month, the rabbit hole goes a lot deeper. So when Stephen Curry came in and asked the organization, hey, what's going on? Like, why we didn't get LeBron? He's like, he wanted too much. That was the word that they got back from the Bay media. And they said LeBron wanted too much too fast. Rather than let things develop to see how it was, and then at the All-Star break, we can make moves. He wanted these changes made immediately. And we were not comfortable with being rushed into making changes that was drastic, molding it to fit his style of play. We were already altering the game for his style of play. We were altering it. And now we've turned it into this. Well, when you get people on your team that understands the position and the mission that everybody wants to be on, then guys are on the same note. So all the fans are coming up with these crazy scenarios. This is not anything official about Boston. They've never offered any players anything. Fans are coming up with these crazy analogies. No, they're going to give them Paul George, Sam Hauser, and 2 first-round picks. Who the hell would do that for Steph Curry? You must can't stand Steph Curry if you're going to do it for that. The Boston Celtics did not make a trade offer for Steph Curry, who's not on the trade block, who's not about to waive his no trade clause to go to the Boston Celtics. Stephen Curry will choose, if he decides to ever leave Golden State, he's going to be the one to choose where it is that he wants to go. It will be on Steph Curry's terms, no one else's. And I'm quite sure Boston did not inquire to know what was going on with Stephen Curry. This is the last year of Steph's deal before the year is out, or before anything gets started. Stephen Curry will have a new deal with the Golden State Warriors. He's not going anywhere. That's my take on it. And the only way Steph leaves the Golden State Warriors, and that's only if he chooses to go. That's the only way he leaves. Steph himself would have to say, I'm ready to go. That's the only way it could go down. But the NBA leads in all sports when it comes to fake media. Every time there's fake media, the NBA leads in fake media. No one prints more fake information about their teams, their legacy, all of it, more than the NBA itself. Let's just say I wasn't excited about SummerSlam. That's what I was watching, getting re-caught up with SummerSlam on the pre-record. I was like, man, Bella got hurt. I'm like, she shouldn't be out there. I hate these one foot in, 1 foot out wrestlers. If they not in the script, get rid of them. Nobody's calling for the Bellas. All right, some people that slept their way into the top. Right, they're not going to trade Stephen Curry. Anthony Aaron, who's the Warriors governor, right? He's the guy who's the governor over the Warriors. You know, Joe LaCobe, he's always been holding Curry's loyalty against him. He knows Curry wants to spend his whole career with the Warriors. He knows that Steph will keep making him money. He knows he can save all that ammo to build up the team behind Steph once Steph retires. But as far as they're going to do whatever Steph wants to do. So like I said, his contract is up at the end of the year. They will have an extension for him on this team and build it the way Steph wants to build. They will get veterans back. They're getting Jimmy back. People forget they were 12-2 before Jimmy went down. They were on a run. They were 12-2 in their last 14 games. Then Jimmy went down, and that was the season. The fans feel like the Golden State Warriors should be making some splashes because the fans like to see people moving around like a video game. So if they don't see you doing something, they think, oh, man, this team is trash. Their team was already in a good spot. They just needed a couple of players. Now, I don't know about Pods being the starter on your team. You might need to move him or have him come off the bench for somebody. Like if Jimmy come back, I don't know if Jimmy's going to start the season. They saying, well, if they trade him now, they can recoup plenty of value on the deal that can paint, Steph as the bad guy while putting themselves in much better position to rebuild. But after everything Curry has accomplished, for the Warriors, why would you risk any tarnishment to his legacy? Right now, he probably is like, I don't want to trade on my resume. Now that's going to be a thing because everybody else is doing that now. Like, hey, wait a minute. I'm going to have a trade on my resume? I don't like that. And then LaCobe is betting that he won't do that. So as far as they seen no reason to believe he's wrong, so until Steph Curry decides to put his thumb on the scale, there is nothing more than a pipe dream for the Boston Celtics. Any other team that may be interested, they're on the outs. Nobody's thinking about them. They're already on the outs. So if he don't request a trade, he's holding all the cards with his contract expiring. Any team that would break the bank to try to get Steph Curry, knowing he's going to try to re-sign with the Warriors. And they said, well, maybe he looked at Boston and decides that's the perfect fit for him to end his storybook career. Not everybody's LeBron James. Okay, no, not everybody's that weak. Is Steph Curry legacy in trouble? No, it's not even close. Steph is beloved. And he didn't have to bounce from team to team. He got what LeBron got right now and more. and didn't gotta go bouncing around from team to team. He got it right where he was at, a small market team. He took a small market team and turned it into a juggernaut. Golden State was a small market team, and he turned it to billions and made them the top earning team in the entire NBA. Has LeBron ever done that? The Golden State Warriors is worth more than the Los Angeles Lakers and every other team in the NBA. Did LeBron do that for Cleveland? Nope. But they sell you the illusion that LeBron is bigger than Steph, when it's a lie. Internationally, Steph Curry is huge in China, way bigger than LeBron James. He said only because of their stadium. Who built that stadium? They won the majority of their championships in the Bay. They won 3 there. They won 1 in the new stadium. They built that stadium. What are you talking about? They built that up off the backs of Stephen Curry and the Warriors. They did that. Cino ain't drunk, it's the truth. Y'all drunk off fame. Steph Curry moves the needle. He saved the NBA. When the NBA was losing all of their money, who saved the NBA? Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors. Without the Golden State Warriors, the NBA was dead. D-E-E-E-D. Dead. He says, nobody mentions the fact that Anthony Edwards' athleticism forced Curry into load management. Please don't go out in the world saying that to people. They might look at you like you talking Spanish or something, because that is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. Steph Curry is 38 years old, man. Jesus Christ. Steph Curry is old news. No, he's current news. Steph Curry went to China and had more people over there looking up to him than LeBron. Because why? He's about their size. And he could do all these feats that LeBron James can't do. Everything that made LeBron exciting, he can't do anymore. So now he's what you call a hype job. You ever seen a hype job? Jalen Brunson, right? Hype job. We're going to fool you with trickery. Tell you this guy is everything, and he's really nothing. Hype job. Many a times, you see the scenarios, you see the play, you see where things are going, you see the development, you see how it's laid out, you see the foundation, you see the understanding. You're right. He should be left out of a conversation that's involving greatness. What's up? We got a new member in the house. That's what's up. New member alert. Welcome. Look, he's like franchise value. Golden State Warriors. Lakers are 2. Third is the Knicks. Fourth is the Clippers. 6 is Boston. 7 is Chicago. Houston 8. Miami 9. Brooklyn 10. Then there's Philly at 11. Now, once again, Stephen Curry in less time has done more in the NBA than LeBron James. Yeah. It's amazing, isn't it? So again, right. That's the Instagram, that's Twitter, that's all these people involved, right? And this is people wanting the Celtics to do this. They're wanting them this. They want this to happen. Could the Celtics actually trade for Steph Curry? And I'm here to bring reality to you, even though it's a crushing blow to some of you fans. Stephen Curry isn't going to the Boston Celtics unless he decides he wants to go to the Boston Celtics. And that just isn't happening anytime soon. So I would never get comfortable with that idea. I would never get relaxed around that idea. I would never say, hey, this is a good idea. It's a dangerous pattern of thoughts this leads to. Of course not. This is what I'm saying. This was all fandom. And people wanted me to talk about it so much. I said, why? Steph Curry is going to resign with the Warriors. And he's not leaving. No, Cito, we got to talk about this. Oh, my God. Once again, people believe in magic, right? Do you believe in magic? Okay, listen. Let's get to what this actually is, all right? Let's get to what this is. You believe, and thanks for the super chat, appreciate that, but you believe Stephen Curry is the one that would say, hey, I want to go over there where it's stacked so I can have a chance at a championship in Boston? I mean, I could see people in Boston wanting that, but could you see that for Stephen Curry? I couldn't see that for himself. Man, this dude, he swept the Cavs who beat Detroit. He swept them. Listen, they did not sweep the Cavs. They were being carried once and for all. Maybe you weren't here when all this went down, right? Brooklyn Kennedy. Let me tell you once again, there's no such thing as Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny. I'm very sorry to break this news to you. I know this is going to be devastating. You might need a minute. Sit down, take some deep breaths. Somebody's going to bring you a glass of water, okay? There's no such thing as Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny, okay? I hate to break this to you like this, but it has to go down this way. And because there's no such thing as Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny, there's no such thing as Jalen Brunson and the Knicks being world champions. They were carried, okay? The league carried them. So understand this, so we can never have to go through this repetitive motion again, even though we will. It's done because you root for the Knicks. Nothing penetrates. Y'all just talk and don't listen. You can't take any information in unless it's glazing the Knicks and saying something ridiculous. Like they be like somebody Knicks fan go, if you put a red cape on Jalen Brunson and if he jumped off a building, he could float to the next building. Another Knicks fan would say that and say, well, I mean, yeah, because he's not that tall and he's not as thick as everybody say he is. He is kind of thin. I think if he spreaded his arms a little bit, Brunson can fly to the next building. I think he would get there. He ain't gonna go straight down. This is the type of logic that we have to deal with here. Mm-hmm. Absolutely not. So, on another note, I wanted to bring this up too. Oh, this was Outlaw bringing up this discussion that I had everybody else in the chats and everywhere else asking about. This is all your fault. You always doing this. Now, on another note, we're going to do this on a side note because one of Gilbert Arenas' employees who goes by the name of FYF Sports decided it would be a great thing to do is to stack up all these things that he called facts, right? Now, here was the fact of the situation. Remember that conversation I had with Gil? 16 million views leading to 48,000 subscribers. What is the percentage of those who aren't subscribed? So here's the percentage. Out of 16 million views, 48,000 is 0.3%. Carcino was right. Did the math. You have 15,952,000 people that came by your page said no. Out of 16 million? That's crazy. That's 99.7% of the people that came to your page did not subscribe. So you know what that tells us? Fake traffic. That your traffic is fake. Because there's no way 16 million people visit your page and you only get 48,000 people to sign up. That's 99.7% of the people that stepped by that did not sign up to your channel. That is a big problem and a big red flag. So, Mr. Arenas, like I said, have at your success. But you can't fool people that actually do this for a living and has been doing it longer than you. We know when people are faking it to make it. So tell FYF that. Now, we got to bring some reality back to the forefront here. Yeah, he wastes all that time editing those thumbnails to do nothing. I need a physical. I do need a physical, though, because this is too physical. Yeah, that's too physical there. All that muscle, no flab. Yeah, that's, I don't know what to tell you. I need a physical. I want to get physical with the New York Knicks and punch them in the face a little bit. Yes, I do need the creator. That I do need. Oh man, the boxing match. Roach and Zepeda. I tried to tell as many people as I could. When we watched the fight last night, I started to go live. But then I started watching something else. Roach got smoked. I didn't think he would get smoked. I thought it'd be a lot closer than that. But the pace of the fight, and this is what we mean by styles make fights. This was it. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. Styles make fights. This is where that termination comes from. This is a prime example of it. Because when they say style makes fights, they were talking about a fight like this. Lamont Roach is a low punch output guy. And you put him in the ring with William Zepeda, it doesn't matter what his record is. It doesn't matter what happened last week, last night. He's a guy of high volume punching. So if you put a high volume puncher in there with somebody with a low punch output, this is the results. This is what you get out of it. And early in the first couple rounds, Roach was spending a lot of energy trading with Zepeda. But he didn't have enough stank on it, which means power. He wasn't putting enough stank on them shots to get the respect from Zepeda. And you got to have quick feet, something that, and this fight here highlights Shakur Stevenson. Because what Shakur Stevenson was able to do to Zepeda, who's a high punch guy, you understood it, how skilled and gifted he was. Zepeda just don't come in wild straight down line. He comes in, he moves his head offline, he dips out, he does a lot of different things, but he was fighting his style of the fight. Roach never could implement his style or the pace he wanted to fight at. So after 2 rounds, he was basically gassing himself out. He couldn't slow the fight down. He couldn't put anything on it. What he should have done early was land some shots and tie up Zepeda. Go to the body, slow it down. He didn't know how to get control of the fight. And after he won the first 2 rounds, it was really like he lost them because he was not fighting his style to win it. And eventually he was going to crack. So after about 3-4 rounds, he was done. And Zepeda, pressure. For every 1 shot, here comes 2 or 3 from Zepeda. Pressure. And then, of course, Roach was just folded. Now, a lot of black people put money on Roach and lost. I tried to save him from it. I think I'm a boxing analyst. Well, I know I used to be paid for it, so. So I'm lying. You wouldn't tell me you wouldn't want to see Boston. So here's the thing. Everybody's supposed to go to the East. Okay, if you're Stephen Curry, why do you want to go to Boston? What would be the catch for you to go to Boston? Is that for you? What is the desire for Stephen Curry to go to the Boston Celtics? None. Exactly. It would make more sense for him going to the Knicks. Most of you guys don't know Stephen Curry was going to be drafted by the New York Knicks. He was really the original pick of the New York Knicks. Steph Curry went with the Knicks organization. They had picked out an apartment in New York. They had the loft. They were getting drafted to go to the Knicks. And at the last minute, the Golden State Warriors got themselves in position to go ahead of the New York Knicks to steal Stephen Curry. So it was always this disdain with the Knicks in Golden State. And the Knicks was just always known for making poor decisions. No, this is nothing more than a fan's decision. This has nothing to do with Curry. Curry did not select to go to Boston at all. This is internet fandom rumors. Well, the Knicks were the team that was, he didn't want to go to the Knicks. The Knicks were the team that was interested in signing him. They were the only team. Golden State never really visited. He never worked out with Golden State. The same thing happened again with Trae Young. The same thing happened with Dennis Smith Jr. The Knicks had always messed up the draft. Yeah, the Knicks would have moved on. Yeah, the pressure in New York with Steph and his ankles, yep, they would have traded him anyway. So it was just a blessing he didn't end up in New York. They would have ruined him. Who would have been his coach? Derek Longstroke Fisher? You would have had Derek Longstroke Fisher as his coach. Longstroke would have been in there hitting Aisha. It was like, wait a minute, Aisha Curry getting hit in the back. Steph Curry in a fight with Derek Longstroke Fisher. Yeah, he would have went out there, Aisha. He would have got her, too. I don't think nobody here thinks Stroke would have got her. Stroke would have had her. Stroke been over there playing with the kids. You be like, Derek, you've been over here 4 days out of the week to play with the kids. They be like, Uncle Derek and Mommy is playing hide and seek in the room. He comes over and then they play hide and seek. Then we play outside on the swing while Uncle Derek is drinking his special drink. Stroke is on the move, baby. Stroke would have gone after Sonya too. He would have got her too. Stroke, man, look, Stroke would have had them all. Stroke would have had the whole Curry family messed up. Sonya is crazy. Man, look, the whole Curry family is a bunch of swingers. The mother and daddy, they some swingers. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they scared to go home. I know. People just try to do what they can. Tatum and Brown over Tatum and Curry. Of course. Here's the thing. Tatum, people forget the most jarring quality about Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown is an on-ball defender. Steph Curry's not shutting somebody down defensively. Zepeda's not on the juice. That's just how Zepeda fights. That's why Crawford knew, Bradley knew, everybody knew how this was going to really play out. I bet the draw. I was just hoping Roach could get another draw so he could have this third draw in a row. But he's made some good money in these past 2 years. Mm-hmm. Anyway, man, I'm going to holler at y'all. Be easy. We got more to talk about. Now that we got this out the way, we can get to the real stuff. Peace. I support my brother, Solomon Hill, baby. He was just out there playing defense. It ain't his fault LeBron can't move his feet.